Beetlejuice is the all-new cash grab from cash grab extraordinaire Tim Burton, director of Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo.
First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
Beetlejuice feels like a rehash of the first movie, just this time with way more plot lines that were not necessary at all. I was not a big fan of this movie, but let's see if my buddy Joel could convince me into thinking it's somehow semi-decent.
So, Beetlejuice. What are my major points? I'll just highlight quickly. Okay, point 1. I think it respected the original. It respected the original pretty heavily, so I was pretty happy with that one. Then I think it felt a lot more like a Burton film than a lot of what he's done recently.
Yeah,
For me, it felt like a bit of a return to form. Like his kind of, I think even post kind of 2000, Burton's projects have it's a very different era for him. And this felt like very much a return to his kind of pre-2000s era, like 80s and 90s.
Yeah, the thing about the eras is, right, like, Burton's 2010s were really rough to him. Yeah. Like, he had that, was it Dark Shadows or something?
Yeah.
With, like, flipping Johnny Depp playing, like, a horny vampire.
Yeah. And
that was, like, a dumb comedy, and I didn't really feel like him, even though it was going for that gothic vibe. Miss Peregrine's Home for Children or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a mid-movie that's nobody remembers at all.
Yeah, not a film I think is appalling, but like certainly it's not him. Burton, yeah. It's not like him at all. Like anyone could have directed that, in my opinion. I just think there's no landmarks until I made a
Burton ranking list 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'd forgotten that was him entirely. So
and he did freaking Dumbo.
Yeah, again, doesn't feel much like him.
We don't talk about Dumbo. So I guess in that case, this does feel more like a traditional Burton. And I think that's mainly because of the comedy and Michael Keaton's comedic timing going well with the roboticness that some of Burton's characters have, because they have this the artificial stiffness to them. And you have to really drive that home with the wacky line delivery that an actor gives.
Yeah, I think that is another rare point. I think the performances were really, really not only good but very in line with what you would expect. I feel like...
See, I thought Jenna Ortega was just there.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting point actually, because compared to Wednesday, her performance in this is way less Burton, but then again, Winona Ryder still felt very Burton in this. To me, I thought she had the roboticness was kind of... I know it's always been her style, but I felt that was there for that. Yeah,
I felt compared to his other movies that he's done recently, this did feel like a Tim Burton movie. I don't think it's grace to form. I don't think it's top tier Burton or anything, but I do think it feels more like his 2000s run. But even then, if we compare this to I guess Sleepy Hollow in 1999, Sweeney Todd came out in 2000s, even his Charlie and Chocolate Factory movie, which I'm not going to say is good or bad. I'm pretty just mixed on that. I know a lot of people have nostalgia for it.
I'm very mixed on it.
It does look like a Burton movie, and it has that atmosphere. So compared to those movies and how they look and feel, I don't think the 2000s and the late 90s, I don't think this feels like classic Burton. I think it's mainly just the actors kind of delivering on what he's given them.
That's a really fair point. I do. Yeah, I would agree on that. I think the story, the structure, and the actors do more to make it feel like a Burton film than the visuals do. Because I definitely agree on that. I think it's lost a lot in the digital, very few practical effects era. I was a bit let down by that. Things like the sandworm and everything.
Being CGI.
Yeah, it looks weird and clunky in the original, but it also is
There's
charming.
A charm to it.
Yeah, and
it feels like something
real
someone
as well.
made. Yeah, it does. This movie lacked that a bit. I did so my favorite part of this movie is the afterlife. I will agree that the afterlife stuff is amazing, and I love how Burton gets to blend all his different styles, mesh them into something wacky and create something innovative, and I like how he put all his inspirations into that world. I just wish that we spent all of our time in the afterlife, and I wish the movie was more about the titular character Beetlejuice rather than the damn humans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I did have some story complaints, and I definitely think that plays into it, because for a film that's called Beetlejuice, the first Beetlejuice film doesn't have that much Beetlejuice in it, in the scheme of things, and I get why it's titled that, because he is like the iconic character from it. Yeah. But like, especially in this film, I was like, there's so many. I know this is an interesting point that we already touched on. So there's so many plot threads in this film, and I was like, if it was and it's interesting because the first one, like, I think you made the point that it is very sectionalized, and it is kind of, it's like comedy sketch after comedy sketch. It's not like that is the operating style for it. Yeah. But I felt like that was. It still was that comedy sketch after comedy sketch thing, but the overarching plot was weaker and didn't pull everything together as well.
I felt like instead of being comedy sketches, like skits in a skit show, this was more like just jokes in like a sitcom, in my opinion. Like, you had the Rory character played by Justin Theroux, and you had all the family stuff, and Catherine O'Hara was even more of a caricature in this film. And then like the Beetlejuice afterlife and fucking ex-wife stuff, which we'll get to later. Because I thought that was badly handled. But like, again, I thought Rory, played by Justin Theroux, was a fun character. It's just, I felt like some of the jokes landed, some didn't. I felt like the character was kind of confused, and they didn't really know how to write him. They didn't know if he was going to be a radical conspiracy theorist libertarian. They didn't know if he should be written like a liberal. They didn't know if he should be written like, I don't know, a right-wing like guy that doesn't believe in like medicine and stuff. And the character is kind of a grifter, but like his jokes, some of them land, but like a lot of them don't feel like they're in character. I feel like they're writing all these different character archetypes for him, and they don't really stick to one.
That's a really good point. I definitely think, like, maybe strong words here, he would be on my list of things to like just cut entirely. What were the enjoyable parts of this film that I would have in reality wanted to see more of? You know, the Beetlejuice stuff was great, but I would have preferred it to be like, I would have preferred it to more heavily be, I know, which is a weird point because we already talked about Jenna Ortega maybe not being the best performer in it, but I feel like maybe the story would have worked better if it was more centralized around like her conflict in it.
See, this is where I disagree, because the humans in this movie were dog shit. They were terrible. They were bad. They were mid. They were Mickey Mouse. They were Skyline Chili. They were Burger King Whoppers, okay? They were terrible. They were the worst part of this film, in my opinion. I did not want those silly, stupid humans doing quirky human shit in this movie, okay? And you know why? Because we talk about Jenna Ortega a bit, right? She's a really important character to the movie. Her character's like
but I feel
one
like
of the products.
She's not that important.
But exactly, because like everything to do with her is so rushed. She's a stereotypically bratty, edgy teenager who's an environmentalist, which is only brang up like twice for a joke, but never actually becomes a part of the plot or anything like that. And like, she's just this bratty, stereotypical, sassy like college girl that we've seen before in every other movie. Every movie has like the parent nagging the child and blah blah
and
thing.
The comparison, like from the trailers, and like even from like all of her costume design, all of her kind of things she talks about, her attitude. She feels so similar to Winona Ryder in the first.
Yeah, it's which just is a rehash.
Which is why it's so weird that they didn't
write her as well.
That they wrote that relationship in the way they did. I get it, like they kind of touched on it. But they're such similar people.
And also, she knows her mum is mentally not that well, or at least she thinks she isn't. And she does, and like she knows she's getting taken advantage of by Rory, but she just chooses not to do anything about it.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean about my point though. Like if it had been a film that, you know, take out you could have take out Rory, take out Beetlejuice's ex-wife, you know, keep the inciting incident, which is the dad dying, the grandfather dying.
They don't even fucking the dad thing is like
back to it.
Like we'll get into spoilers later, but the dad stuff was just so like forcefully handled.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if you had there's your inciting incident, they go home. I personally quite liked the kind of twist with Jenna Ortega's... Spoilers!
I wasn't going to go into that. Yeah, I think the relationship thing is really rushed and really badly done and really awkward. But then you get to the twist, which is that, so in the movie, Jenna Ortega, she's this edgy teen, as we all said, and she rides a bicycle and she bumps into this guy and she falls in love with him really quick, which I thought was like badly done and kind of corny. But then you find out that he's a ghost, and that he murdered his mum and dad.
Yeah.
And I think that was a pretty fun twist.
I think it's a fun
I
twist.
wish they did more with that, besides him just being like 2 scenes.
'Cause, like,
and then like dead dying.
Yeah, because apart from anything else, he doesn't feel like that villainous.
He's just,
like, this is a dude that we're meant to
He's
believe
just
has
like
killed
an
his
awkward
parents.
guy. Yeah.
And yeah,
He
I
could have
think
been even more villainous later on, but like
you know
they barely show him.
Yeah, like that could have happened, and then what? So Winona Ryder still goes and finds Beetlejuice, and still like, I need to get my daughter back, etc., etc. You know, and then you've got a longer section in the middle where you're not coming back to the main world, like checking in on all of these characters, but but it's still got that chase bit, and it's got more in the afterlife, and I feel like it would have just been simpler, and then the finale still could have worked as well.
Yeah, it did not need about fucking 7 different fucking plots going on at the same time. It did not at all.
It's just too much.
I want to talk about the structure a bit as well. We talked about it a bit. Yeah. But like, I want to talk about the structure of this movie, because I felt like it was structured like one of those Disney Channel specials, like Sweet Life on Deck meets Wizard of Waverly Place and Hannah Montana, where it's all these like crossover characters who have their own thing going on and just run around like a big like interior location, and they bump into each other and crack jokes.
Yeah.
You kind of get. I know you didn't grow up with Disney Channel.
I've got to admit here, like, I'd never seen any of
He
these.
was
I've no
never a
idea
Disney
what you're on
Channel
about.
kid. Yeah, they don't have a Disney Channel in Norfolk.
kind of- yeah.
They have like VCR TV. He has to watch like old retellings of like fucking spooky ghost stories or some shit. The Ghostbusters 90s cartoon show.
Let's not diss it, all right? But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, having lots of just recognizable characters running around and no real, like, yeah.
Because a lot of the second half of the movie is them just running around the afterlife, interacting with each other.
That's what I meant, like, it's a weird comparison to the first one, because that is what the first one is as well.
Yeah.
It's just got a better.
It's like it's just got a bigger budget, and I feel like the first one ties it better. It's got an intention, but I feel like it's got a massive intention behind it. I feel like with this one, people just called up Tim Burton and they were like, "Yo, Tim, fucking Wednesday, you need some funding for another fucking movie. You need some cash." He's like, "Yeah, sure. I'm Tim Burton. I'm dating Monica Bellucci now." And they're like, "Okay, Tim." He is actually. And they're like, "Tim, yeah, I know. I found out yesterday as well." I was like, "That's why she's in the movie." And that's why she's in the movie. And then they're like, "Tim, yeah, come down to WB Law. David Zaslav." I was like, "Fucking, I don't know, 90 mil, 150, which the fucking movie cost way more than the original for you." And he will fund this fucking movie, and it'll break all the records. And he was like, "Okay, can I cast my girlfriend?" They were like, "Yeah, sure, come Tim, come by." And that's why this movie was made. Finally, the ex-wife, played by Monica Bellucci. She's also a ghost. She goes to the afterlife to find Beetlejuice. We don't know why. All we know is that she's in love with him, and she's gonna find him and suck his soul, I guess, because she's part of a soul-sucking cult. We get this shown through these really flashy and stylistic scenes that I enjoyed heavily.
I did really enjoy those bits. Like, all of the weird. I loved seeing the visual influence and all that kind of stuff. And again, the unpredictability of those scenes felt like Burton again. But yeah, it's like just her in general.
So for the entire movie, like, she has like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of screen time. She just walks around for the entire movie.
If you actually timed her time on screen, it would be like 4.5 minutes.
So, yeah, probably. I mean, she takes the piss to like suck their souls, and they become wacky characters.
It's going on like a 2-hour film, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what
it's
she was billed as like the main villain,
and she's
in like 4.5.
She's a glorified cameo, and she just walks around the hallway for like 4 minutes, and then at the end she goes to the real world and she's like, "Beetlejuice, I'm gonna suck your soul," and then she fucking dies through sandworm. Did you also enjoy the amazing tribute to Jeffrey Jones, the amazing cameo he got? The granddad, Catherine O'Hara's husband. Did you enjoy that?
Really weird.
Did you enjoy that CGI little stop motion, and then him getting an honourable death, and then Jenna Ortega saying he was the only normal one in the family, and then he gets, really he's in afterlife form as well for no reason. It's like, it's amazing.
Like, I get why they did it.
I love that tribute to a pedophile.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He's registered. Yeah, he's also in Amadeus.
Yeah, he is. I was going to mention that. Yeah, we just watched that.
We did a fucking Jeffrey Jones double feature by accident. Amadeus is an actual good movie, though. If you want a good movie, watch that. Not this shit.
He's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well.
He is. That's how I found out. I was like 11 years old, searching up stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's a nonce.
Yeah, nice. But even weirder that he's still in the film then.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was weirded out. Why were you weirded out? Did you think he was just like not showing up?
Yeah, I just thought it was
Crispin Glover Back to the Future tour situation or something.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a weird decision.
Yeah, no, he's a nonce.
And again, you could have just like
recasted or something.
Yeah, well, either recast
or killed him, or
just like
off screen.
In reality, like, if you were talking about really making this film like way tighter, Catherine O'Hara didn't even need to be.
She
in
was
it.
just
She was
Joe.
just there as well.
She was just there to make jokes. Just
I feel
crack.
like you've made me see. That's the thing, and I feel like I'm agreeing with a lot of your points here, but you're not really like changing my opinion on it, because I still loved the experience of watching it. I still thought it was really fun. And I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy watching it. And I don't know if I'd like hold that opinion if I watched it again. But to be honest, I probably won't.
Yeah,
I don't tend to rewatch that many films. So
I think Beetlejuice is just a very quirky of its time legacy sequel, which people will love because it has some fan service in the gags, the humor, Michael Keaton's wacky performance, who is great in this movie, by the way. I think Michael Keaton is the standout performance.
Yeah.
I hate that they just strip teasers with him for like the majority of the first 50 minutes, where he just shows up randomly. But like, do we have to wait till we finally get him? And I don't know.
I thought he was kind of weird in this one as well.
Why? Because he was less like creepy and more like kind of the comedic side relief.
Way less creepy. Like, it was such a, maybe that all plays into just who was funding this film as well.
Yeah, maybe they want Michael Keaton up as Beetlejuice, or they want Beetlejuice to stay as like
as PC as possible,
as a figure, as a figure that could be marketed.
Yeah.
In like action figures and video games.
He's not only like super crude and everything, but he's all like the entire play. He's trying to marry like a 16-year-old.
He's like a weirdo.
He's a weird guy.
And in this, it's played for laughs. In the original, it was played for like messed up laughs.
Yeah.
But like in this, he's just. I guess he's
such a villain in the first one.
And in this one, he's like a grouchy uncle.
Yeah.
He feels like a Simpsons character in this one, compared to the first, where he is like this weirdo that you don't want to be with. Yeah. In this, you're like kind of satisfied to see him, and I was kind of unsatisfied to see his, his little exit at the end, because like he just played more as like comedic side relief. It's just weird. He is Unk. He is Unk, and I talked to Unk as well, and this also shows that like. The audience themselves are a bit confused or like a bit mixed on this movie. Unk, our friend Unk, we have a friend called Unk. His name is Unk. Shout out Unk. He's gonna watch this video. He watched this movie and he loved it, and I'm glad he did. Even though I think he gave it like 3.5 out of 5. But after the movie finished, I told him how I felt. I knew he loved it because I was watching with him. He was laughing along. He was barely laughing and all that. And then the only thing he said to me was, "It has Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara, and anything with them is an instant I love it." And I was like. Oh, so this is the movie.
Not very good justification.
This is the movie shit.
Yeah.
Movie shit, bro.
Yeah. I'm starting to see, enjoyable.
Starting to see the
big issues, but enjoyable.
Yeah, I think
I can't leave it at that for me. Like,
I think Beetlejuice has a lot of holes, just like the sandworm that comes out of them.
Yeah.
It's just a movie directed by Tim Burton that feels a bit like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah. I feel like, as I said though,
and there's nothing bad with enjoying this movie, like at all.
Yeah, I'd recommend the watch. It is fun. It is a lot of fun. It has got some issues with it.
Yeah.
I didn't come out of it saying 5 out of 5.
You had a fun time though. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a fun time with it though, and certainly compared to some of the other shit that I've watched this year.
Yeah, There's been a lot of shit. It's not the worst shit I've watched. It's like mid shit for me.
I feel like it's middling on my list as well. Didn't we check? We've both seen different films, but we've both seen 36 new releases, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is maybe 18 or 19 for me.
It's around that for me, probably. It's probably like maybe early 20s. Beetlejuice. What rating is it for you?
I'm sticking with my 3.5.
3.5 out of 5?
Out of 5, yeah. If I watched it again, maybe it would drop to a 3, but, if I don't watch it again, which is fairly likely, it might not. So
I think Beetlejuice is a 2.5 out of 5. I do not recommend it personally. I think if it's just on randomly, like on TV, probably check it out. But I don't think it's worth watching in the cinema. There is some cool like little sequences which I was shocked to see in a 12A movie. A lot more blood than I expected. There's lots of cool meshings of style and Burton's own inspiration put into the film, and for a lot of the especially with the Afterlife stuff, it looks really good. I love all the interiors and the environments and how clustered in and compact and gross they feel, and Beetlejuice himself is a great character, but you don't get a lot of that in the movie. Instead you get a lot of these humans kind of just being rehashes of what they originally were, or just being rushed into a picture that they didn't really belong into, in my opinion. 2.5 out of 5 for me. And I loved how the only time there was black people in this movie was during that Soul Train skit.
I hadn't even thought about that. That is like...
Cheers, Tim. Oh, we also watched Count of Monte Cristo. You liked that a lot, didn't you? What rating did you give that?
Oh yeah, I think I gave it a 4. Might have given it 4.5.
Do you highly recommend it?
Yeah, if you want something better to watch, if it's still showing, like obviously commit to like the 2.5 hour run time. That was like epic though.
Yeah. That was mid. I think